At the age of 27, my sister Sally discovered that she had thyroid cancer. As a family, we all started praying for her. We sought medical help for her. And by the grace of God and by great medical help from our wonderful Spokane doctors, she no longer is suffering from thyroid cancer, which I'm happy to report. She's been serving in our choir this whole weekend. Obviously, that was a big hit for us, but so happy that she's better. But at the age of 29, she discovered she had colon cancer. In 2 years, 2 cancers. And colon cancer was much higher risk because our grandma, my mom's mom, had died from colon cancer. So we knew the risk that Sally was facing. We prayed, we sought medical advice, we got medical help, and again, thanks to God and the wonderful doctors, Sally no longer has colon cancer. She's here today and serving with us. But Sally lived this. She had this incredible, resolute faith all through this. She had this faith that held on to Jesus, that held on to the hope that God was not done with her life. She had not given up on God because God had not given up on her, even though she faced 2 cancers in 2 years. In fact, at one point, Sally said this to a friend. She said, I was no less in God's hands the day I discovered my cancer than I was the day before I knew I had cancer. Yesterday, before I knew I had cancer, I was in God's hands. Today, when I have cancer, I'm still in God's hands. Nothing has changed. I'm still in God's hands. It's incredible faith. And what I love is that Sally used this setback as a setup for what God had for her in life. See, because now, of all of the medical things she's gone through, she now volunteers with Cancer Camp, a wonderful organization in our community that helps cancer patients through their struggle. She drives them to the hospital. She meets with them and advises them. And she uses all of her experience to bless them in Jesus' name. God used her setback as a setup. And I'm wondering, maybe you're in the middle of a setback that God is going to use as a setup in your life. Maybe you're in the middle of something terrible that God is going to use to forward his purpose and your purpose in life if you would trust him. The other thing that I love that Sally did is she sat back in her setback. Yes. She trusted that God had the power, that God had the plan. She allowed God to support her through all that she was going through. And I'm just wondering, if you're in the middle of a setback, would you be willing to sit back and trust that God has a plan? Would you be willing to trust that he is not done